So I'm going to be taking off from Marconi Beach here in Wellfleet right about 6 a.m. And kind of in a cruel twist of fate, I'm not going to get any kind of a Cape Cod sunrise whatsoever, because it's just nothing but fog and some pretty angry waves out here right now. The tide is receding. I believe it was a 4:30 a.m. high tide, which is good, but there may be some parts of the beach that I may not be able to traverse on foot here because of the size of some of these waves, but we're gonna figure it out. Worst case, I'm climbing a couple of cliffs and going up on the highlands and then coming back down. But off we go. One thing I gotta say is pretty amazing right now. Not sure of my location, don't have a lot of GPS out here, no real signal for any kind of internet or anything else like that. So it's incredible because it's miles and miles of beach and there's no footprints down here. I saw some earlier down at Marconi when I first started, but I'm up towards the northern part of Wellfleet now, and this is amazing. I mean, it's just nothing. It's just wind and waves and just miles of nicely compacted sand from the high tide going out. The sun is just starting to make its way over the horizon. If I had a better camera, I wish I had a better camera. You can actually see, I don't know if you can see it from this, probably not, but the waves rippling out in the distance off the first few rays of sunlight, it's incredible, it's amazing. So I'm hoping I can get some kind of a sunrise once the sun pops up over the horizon. Don't know if the clouds are gonna cover it or not. But, I mean, it's awesome. Despite the fog and everything, incredible out here, absolutely beautiful. See you in a bit. So just kind of real quick as I'm going here, still trying to check my progress distance-wise, where I am compared to where I started at Marconi Beach. And with limited GPS ability out here and signal and all that good stuff, from what I can tell, at the 1 hour mark, so right about 7 o'clock right now, not as far along as I thought I would be. So I'm probably gonna have to knock off my little squirrel moments, if you will, of taking pictures and stopping and doing this and doing that. Obviously I gotta document this, but at the same time I wanna make sure I can cover my distance that I wanna do today and not lose daylight towards the later afternoon. So anyway, if I see something, I'm gonna stop real quick. Got my trusty backpack today, brought the drone, brought my little gimbal for the cell phone, the camera. But honestly, that's just gonna take more time to set up and do stuff with. So it's gonna continue to march here, literally, and hopefully we make it a little bit further at the next 1 hour mark. So, see you then. right, so we're here at the 2-hour mark. And as you can probably see behind me, it is just nothing but really, really heavy fog out here. I'm hoping that lifts at some point. I don't know if it's going to. There's still some decent cloud cover. So as far as pictures go, it's not a great day for it. I'm still going to get some here and there. But again, it is what it is. So we just keep on trekking. It's about the trek at this point. I did get a little bit of a signal just behind me. A couple of text messages came through. Thank you, Roberta, for wishing me luck on today. That was really nice. And according to Google Maps, I am still in Wellfleet. So not sure what I was expecting. I guess at the 2-hour mark, I figured I'd be at Highland Light in Truro, but it's not a reality right now. So anyways, I'm trying to minimize the distractions as much as possible while still documenting that we're out here doing this. So why am I doing this? What's going on today? Why am I hiking almost 30 miles on the National Seashore? So my goal is I was raising some funding for the Atlantic White Shark Conservancy based out of Chatham, and what they do for white shark research. Whoop, watch the waves here, they're coming in on me. I visited their museum in Chatham last year with both of my sons, and we absolutely loved it. I've always been fascinated by sharks anyways, and I just think it's such a great thing that they do, but obviously it's not cheap. And I think anything we can do to help with that funding is a good thing. So this is part of the Atlantic White Shark Challenge 2023. They basically had you sign up and make a donation to them and then pledge a certain distance that you were going to walk in regard to that donation. So of course, me being me, I picked the top spot, the White Shark Challenge, which I think was 20, of course I forget now, 23 miles, 26 miles, whatever it is. And I wanted to take it to the extreme, and I wanted to do it all in one day. You had 7 days to do it, from Sunday through Saturday. I'm sure some people chose to break it up, you know, which kind of makes sense. But again, me being me, went to the extreme and said, I'll do it all in one day on this awesome spot, the National Seashore. I mean, despite the weather, it still doesn't get any better than this. The cool part is, you know, like I've been saying, there's some areas where there's just no cell phone signal at all, no 5G, no this, no that. So you definitely feel very isolated out here, and it's kind of nifty. It's a little creepy, especially with the fog. I'll show you what's in front of me here. But even still, I don't think you can beat anything like this. And in a way, it's almost better that it's not sunny out today. The sun's not beating down on me, so you know, getting sunburnt and sweating to death out here is not an issue right now. So yeah, 2-hour mark, still continuing to go. We'll see where I'm at the 4-hour mark. I'm hoping to be a little closer to Highland Light at that point. Hopefully I get a signal up that way. We will see. But this has been nothing but fun. So off I go. We'll see what happens in the next hour. See ya. Well, just taking a quick stop. I am somewhere near, there's some kind of a public beach entrance back there. I'm gonna double check what it is, but you can tell I'm in a spot where I'm getting another signal because I'm getting text messages and updates and this and that. So it's gonna take a quick break. We're at the 3-hour mark. It's just before 9 o'clock, but man, Mother Nature's put on a display here. So obviously you can see the fog is starting to burn off. The waves have been absolutely unbelievable. And just ahead though, we still do have some low-lying fog right on the beach, which is pretty cool. So we got a mixture of some blues in the sky and some fog here and there, and just the waves, and it's just been unbelievable. So I do have to stop my stubborn self at some point and take a food and water break. I don't know when that's going to be. It'll be fairly soon, but yeah, this is just wow. Words can't even describe. Absolutely amazing. Incredible out here. Highly recommend it. Come down on the National Seashore and just take a nice little stroll someday, and you won't be disappointed on any section of it. Just absolutely incredible out here. All right, that's the 9 o'clock update. I just gotta double check my text real quick, and we'll see you at 10 o'clock. Just when you think you're all alone, kind of away from civilization somewhat, and then 2 ATVs come flying up behind you. Took me a little bit by surprise. Not sure who they were. Probably DCR people, if I had to guess. They're putting these stakes up with the strings tied to keep people off the nesting bird areas. So as I've been cruising along, I've never seen, I mean, I've never been to this part of the Cape anyways, but I've never seen these rock type formations. I mean, you can almost see where the water has worn it away, but I am absolutely fascinated. It looks like clay, but it's solid. I mean, it's rock. But the colors, you can see the blue colors peeking through, bluish gray on some of these rocks. It's fascinating. Texture is amazing. So I don't know what phenomenon that is. I'm sure somebody out there can tell me what it is. But it is really, really nifty. Look at the colors here. That is just amazing. Absolutely incredible. And I've been encountering that. I don't know what section of my trek I'm on here. Possibly near the Wellfleet Truro line, if I had to guess. But you can see where it's chipped away. The erosion is just unreal. I feel bad for some of these people that have probably built their dream houses only to watch them 20, 30, 40, 50 years later get dangerously close to the edge of the cliffs. Look at that. Wow. I don't need to stop and get a picture of that too, but that is just some amazing coloring. All right, we are just over the 4-hour mark, and I'm just taking a quick break. Location is, I am just to the south of Ballston Beach, so I'm making pretty good time with the pace. So at the 4-hour mark, I will have to see where I am at the 8-hour mark. My hope is that I'm a little closer to Race Point. Race Point is obviously the ultimate destination. But we'll see. It all comes down to daylight and available hours that I have to walk. So I am just starting to feel a little bit now. I guess the one thing I underestimated was you're obviously walking on somewhat of a kind of an angle, a downslope, if you will, walking sideways across it. So your hips are always compensating for that slightly weird angle that you're walking. And I'm definitely feeling it in my hips right now. So just a quick break, put on some sunscreen, a couple of quick snacks, some water, and just let the legs rest a little bit, get the sand out of the shoes, and then hopefully continue to march up the beach. But I will say this is really interesting, this part, because there's some pretty high cliffs behind me. There was no signs of any houses, no beaches, there was nothing. So a real sense of isolation, it's pretty cool. Just a really cool stretch of beach right here. So yeah, we will see what happens after this. I'll probably put the drone up sometime in the next couple hours, I hope to, just to get some of these awesome waves and get some aerial footage to document where we are and how far along we've come on this walk. And that is about it. So going to rest up a little bit more, and then I will continue to march in a little bit. See you guys at 11 o'clock. It is 11 o'clock, just past 11 o'clock. So this is hour number 5 of the trek. And if you take a look behind me, that's just a solid wall of fog behind me. The sun is out right up above, but nothing but fog behind. And I'm missing all the really great scenery that I wanted to get today on camera and on the drone. And if you look in front of me, that's the reason why. It's just a wall of fog in front of me too. So it's kind of hampering my efforts, because honestly, between no GPS at this point and no visuals up on the hills, I'm still looking for Highland Light as kind of my marker. I have no idea where I am. So I'm on the beach. It's all that matters. I'm going to continue to march. I did just pass a public beach entry. Don't know which one it was. Didn't really stop to look, just kept on going. My pace is definitely slowing down, although this is a more solid part of the beach. But after 5 hours, you start to feel it in your feet. All the little muscles in your feet that probably normally aren't working when you're on pavement are really working overtime to try to keep your foot balanced and steady, and from slipping side to side in the soft sand here. So it's been interesting, but obviously not at the point of giving up. That's not happening. So we'll just keep on going. I just wish I had more of a visual in front of me as to what I'm walking into. I just want to make sure that the beach that I'm getting to is, obviously passable on foot, and I don't have to go up into these cliffs to get up around it, because honestly, I don't think I have the energy to get up in those cliffs right now if I have to get around any kind of water. The tide is still dropping. It's still going out, which is a good thing. But I'm just not familiar with this part of these beaches whatsoever. So anyways, that's the 11 o'clock report. With any luck, I'll give you kind of an idea of where I am within the next hour or so. If this fog does lift, like I said, I would like to put the drone up and get some great shots of the waves and kind of the scenery, but with this fog, you wouldn't see anything. So yeah, that is pretty much it. I will see you guys in about an hour. Okay, we are at the 6-hour mark. It is just after noontime. Though I can't see it, it's up in the hills and there's still a lot of fog. I believe I am right at Highland Light, so a little bit more behind than I wanted to be, but I am just approaching, to put it in perspective, the top of the forearm for the Cape and heading towards the wrist, which essentially would be Provincetown, the province lands, and then hopefully eventually on to Race Point, again, depending on pace and how I'm feeling. Definitely dragging at this point, and I'm gonna take a break at some point, sit down, have a quick bite, water break, and again, would like to try and put the drone up, but I'm still faced with fog right behind me and fog right in front of me. So definitely have this cool view of the waves crash in. Waves have been unbelievable today, so that has been fun. Passed a few pedestrians along the way, gave some friendly waves and smiles. Good to see other people out here hiking today. So yeah, I'm just gonna try to get my bearings here, find some place to sit down for a minute, and then continue on. And hopefully the next update I'm gonna be, I'm hoping at least into Provincetown and then on to the final destination. So, all right, that's it. Gonna take a quick break and I will be back at 1 o'clock. All right, it is the 1 p.m. update. So we are, what, 7 hours in, and I'm pretty gosh darn excited because we are into the province lands now. And this is sort of the section of the Outer Cape Beach that I've always wanted to see live and in person. It's unbelievable. The dynamic between, and literally when you go from the Truro line to Provincetown, it's crazy how the really high cliffs in Truro and Wellfleet completely disappear once you get here, and now it's just all pretty much rolling dunes the whole way through. But just a really, really, really cool dynamic out here. Complete change of scenery. So the fog still remains, but it's kind of lifted a little bit, giving me a little bit better forward vision here. But you can see, as you go up the shore, you got these little tiny miniature cliffs that were probably created by the high tide earlier. So the only issue with that is that they've roped off that line where they have the nesting birds, and if the tide comes in too much, unfortunately I'm gonna have to encroach on that a little bit to get around the water. But this is just, it's really, really, really cool out here. So pretty psyched, and like I said, at some point I'm gonna get the drone up, probably a little bit further into the trip though. But this just kind of gave me a new, sort of energized me a little bit to keep on going. Really, really cool out here. A lot more people out here. There's a couple of, and I'm not familiar with the access to these areas, but there's been at least 2 parking lots I've walked by, and there's been about probably 10 people out and about hiking and you know, walking the beach and doing their thing. So pretty cool to see other people out here. Cool moment of the day. One of the cool moments is, and unfortunately I didn't get it on video because I must have hit the button or I missed the button or something, but 2 F-15 Eagles literally went right overhead, came in off the Atlantic and went right overhead towards the inland side, and that was just ultimately cool. Probably only a couple of thousand feet up. Really, really cool to see. So yeah, those that don't know, I'm a kind of an aircraft geek, military aircraft geek, and that stuff, I just love seeing it. That was really, really cool. So anyways, continuing to march here. I am just coming up on the wrist of the Cape, and hopefully Race Point won't be too far off. So again, this is the 1 o'clock. By 2 o'clock, I hope to be quite a bit, whoa, here comes the tide coming in. I hope to be quite a bit closer towards Race Point, and my goal of getting out to see hopefully the lighthouse. And depending on the time, maybe continuing further. I don't know where I'm at mileage-wise right now. So once I get home and I start to kind of edit all this stuff together and put it together, I'll measure it out on Google Maps or Google Earth and see how far I made it today. Hopefully it was the minimum distance, we'll see. Like I said, a little bit of a recharge of my batteries once I get to this section, and we will keep on going. So we will see you at 2 p.m. So just did a quick confirmation on the on Google Maps, and this is head of the Meadow Beach in Provincetown. So definitely crossed into Provincetown, obviously. Yeah, and pretty excited to be here. So gonna continue on, and like I said, hopefully by the 2 o'clock hour, I'm a little bit closer towards Race Point. Probably take another break at that point, get some water, probably get a little bit of chow, and then keep on going and see how far we get. Might be beyond Race Point today. The one thing I was cautioned is that up towards that section, there's an area of the beach that it does wash out, apparently even when it's not high tide, and it might be impassable, and I may have to go up into the walking trails, the bicycle trails that go all through the province lands through Race Point, just to kind of get back towards the beach and not get caught up in any kind of water or anything like that. Don't want soggy feet today. No spare socks, no spare shoes. So yeah, all right, feeling good. See you guys in a little bit. Okay, it is the 2 o'clock report. Found a nice big piece of wood up here on the beach, and I am taking a quick break, but 2 o'clock report is not as cheery as the 1 o'clock report. Probably the last, I don't know, 2 or 3 miles since that 1 o'clock report, the beach just got real soft and was at kind of a weird angle that I was walking on, and it just exhausted me. So this stretch that I'm on right now isn't so bad, but yeah, probably the last 20-30 minutes of that walk since the 1 o'clock report just absolutely drained my energy. So gonna sit for a bit, have some water, rehydrate a little bit, continue to march, obviously. So by 2 o'clock, I hope to be up at the Race Point Lighthouse, and that's obviously not a reality at this point. The pace of walking on a beach is obviously painfully slower than walking on a road or on pavement or anything like that. So, but we're gonna, keep going, see how far we get, and then go from there. So my ride home has agreed to pick me up a little bit later, which is good. My ride back to my car, I should say, back at Marconi Beach. So I can do a little more trekking, and that's gonna start worrying about daylight and stuff like that. But certainly plenty of daylight left, and I like to keep going as far as I possibly can. So I'm gonna take a break, get the sand out of the shoes, let the legs rest a little bit, and then continue to march. So we will talk to you at the 3 o'clock hour. Well, folks, not quite time for the next report, but interesting developments here. Wow, very interesting developments. I'll show you the video in a second, but this is probably the portion of the beach that I was told that becomes somewhat impassable even if it's not high tide, which The tide is coming in, but it's not high tide yet. But when I turn the camera around, you're gonna see what I have to face here. So give it a second, but you can see the waves are clearly going right up to the base of the cliffs, right in all the spots where I need to walk. And that is not good. I don't mind my feet getting a little wet, but my problem is if my camera, my phone, and the drone get wet, I am kind of screwed. So, as much as I don't want to do it, I might have to take a walk up the cliffs here and see if I can find another route to maybe try to get around. It looks like the beach further up looks like it's free and clear. It's just this one section right here. I mean, if I had a little more energy and I had the sprint in me, I'd sprint right across and take the chance, but I don't think I'd make it. I get the feeling one of these waves would catch me off guard and that would be the end of it. I'm actually getting right to the edge right now. So decision time. We're gonna see what happens here. I'm not calling it quits. That's not an obstacle that I consider all that much, but it's definitely something to consider. And it's gonna make the journey a lot harder. It's gonna zap my energy levels going up this cliff to try to get up and around. But we'll see what happens. I'll update you in a few minutes. See ya. Whew, okay, I'm a little out of breath because it's an adventure now. So I'm up on top of that dune cliff I was showing you earlier. I started going sideways across the dune cliff, just trying to see if I could step over that area where the water was coming up. And part of the whole dune cliff started eroding and bringing me down towards the ocean with it. And a little moment of panic, so I kind of sideways trekked across back to where it was a little more stable. My apologies to Province lands for the erosion. I know it's an issue. Shame on me for not beating the tide here, but it's a matter of survival at that point. So I don't know if I can show you where I had to come up. I'm not going to get too close to the edge because this cliff is ready to go for my fat body trying to get up it, but had to go straight up here. And you can see the ocean is clearly starting to come into the base of the cliff wall now, down below, making it pretty much impassable for me. But I had to grab a whole bunch of these weeds and dunes and pull myself up over the edge, throw the backpack and the walking stick up separately. And now I'm up in the dunes. And if I had to guess, because I can see the Truro cottages right straight across, Route 6 is just over the tops of those dunes on the other side. But I don't know if I want to do dune trekking the entire rest of the way. It's really tough. Up here, I can start thinking about ticks. Most likely I'm going to have a few. It is what it is. And I don't know if I want to risk getting back down on the beach. I don't know if it's going to be impassable at this point or not. So I'm going to trek forward. That took a good chunk of my time out, and this may have to end, unfortunately, right at Race Point, probably at the DCR station, but we'll see. Again, I'm not throwing in the white flag yet, but or the white towel or whatever, but that definitely put a dent in my plans there. So hey, little Indiana Jones action for the day, makes it more interesting, and we'll continue on. So I'll give you an update pretty soon. So kind of the easy thing to do at this point would be go right straight across the dunes out where I know Route 6 is. Easy way out, just start walking along Route 6, but who wants to do that? No way. Spirit of adventure, keep on going here. So I am up in the dunes. I'm trying to, oh, look at that. And it just so happens that I'm back at a nice low flat point. Oh man, this is perfect. Good, so all I had to do was just traverse that one section, which was over there by those cliffs where the water was coming up, and it looks like, I'm hoping, the rest of this is gonna be nice and flat and open. So, all right, that was a short trek. My only issue with being on the dunes is, number one, it's a lot hotter because you're out of the wind and the nice sea breeze here, but also the number of coyote and deer tracks through here were unbelievable. And you guys know coyotes are obviously very well camouflaged in this grass. They can lay right down, you'll never see them until you're right on top of them. and God forbid I disturb a mom and pups or something like that. That would not have been a good scene. So, all right, I think I'm gonna get out of the dunes now. I'm gonna hike back down the cliff. This is a low cliff, so no erosion, thank God. And continue on. So we'll see what happens. Again, put a big dent in my time there. But we'll see where I end up here. I'm not too far off of the Race Point DCR station. So that might be final destination today, but we'll see. I'll catch up with you guys in hopefully about another hour. All right, it's a 4 o'clock report real quick. I stopped to do a little bit of drone. Unfortunately, the drone takes so long to get set up and acclimated and all that stuff. I want to do more drone because obviously great footage, but just too much time, and I'm starting to run short on time. Tide is coming in pretty fast and furious now. The waves have been absolutely intense. Just some great scenery out here. But I got to try to get to the Race Point parking lot before this starts coming up any further. And you can see it's coming up real fast to the point where it's probably going to push me back up into the dunes again. So, but a good full day of walking. Technically, I still have till Saturday to get the rest of my miles done. I'll go home and calculate these miles today. And yeah, make up the difference. And wow, tide is literally coming almost right up to my feet pretty soon here. So this will most likely be the last transmission. I might, I don't know how far the parking lot is from here. Hopefully it's not too far. And if it takes me till 5, I'll probably do a quick 5 o'clock. And then GPS it so I get all my markers to show you my hike today. But great hike, a little bit of adventure. Certainly good fun, great scenery, great day for it. Couldn't have really asked for any better. And all obviously for a good cause. All the money is going to Atlantic White Shark Conservancy to help them with white shark research. And I'm very glad to help out. I hope a lot of other people did too. They definitely deserve it. It's a great organization. And who knows, maybe someday in the next few years, I'll be working for them. You never know. So anyways, I will see you guys maybe at 5 o'clock. See ya. So one thing I got to say as I'm trekking along back on the beach here, heading out to Race Point, just look at all of the junk laying out here. I mean, what an absolute travesty that all this stuff is just laying out here. I don't know if this is from, I'm not sure if I'm on the point where 4x4s can access the beach, but you know, if this is people partying and whatnot and coming out here, and I mean, shame on you. That's what an absolute disgusting waste of our national seashore. I mean, it's just littered with bottles and junk everywhere. Man, that is awfully disappointing. If I had a little more free time, and God knows I probably don't, I actually really don't. If I did, I would certainly volunteer to come out here as long as they provided me with an ATV or something and clean this garbage up. This is just absolutely disgusting. This is probably the worst stretch of beach I've seen for pollution and litter yet. It's just everywhere. Well, pretty simple, folks. Just pick up after yourselves. Doesn't take a whole lot. All right, I'm on my soapbox. I'll get down now. Sorry. All right, back to my trek. I'll see you guys in a little bit. All right, besides the finish point, this might be the final update here. I'm also running out of battery on my phone. On the home stretch still, 11 hours straight of walking on the National Seashore. It's been an absolute pleasure. Definitely feeling it. My knees are starting to get a little tight. I don't normally have any problems with my legs at all, but I would say after 11 hours of walking in soft sand, they're probably going to start reacting. So, but I'm going to push on. Again, Race Point DCR station, the parking lot is my destination at this point. The lighthouse is just going to be out of reach today. It's just not going to happen, which I'm a little disappointed in myself. That was my goal, and if I don't reach the goal, I'm a little upset, but I also have to be realistic. I'm gonna run out of daylight. I need a ride back to my car at Marconi Beach, which thank God my friend Roberta is gonna give me a ride back. And that's pretty much that. So rather than risk any kind of injury, just best to call it quits. So I got to Race Point, which was the goal anyway, just not to the lighthouse itself. So I am doing I'm volunteering for the multiple sclerosis bike-a-thon that's going on the Vineyard. That's gonna be on Saturday the 29th, and I'm going over on Friday. So my goal is maybe just before the event, probably early Saturday morning, I'm gonna grab a walk somewhere in town and finish up a few more miles for the Atlantic White Shark Conservancy Challenge. So I get all my miles in for Saturday. So yeah, it's been a good day, long day, tiring day. It's gonna be a heck of a ride back home. Probably about an hour and 45-minute drive for me in a 5-speed manual, which with knees that are getting tight, that's gonna be really fun. But I wouldn't have it any other way. So last update will be in the parking lot itself, and then I will go home and edit all this stuff together and hopefully put something together for everybody. So I will talk to you guys shortly. See ya. All right, everybody, so I am at just about the 12-hour mark. It is 10 minutes before 6, and I am finally at Race Point at the guard shack. So at the DCR shack, I should say. So completed the leg of the journey that I wanted to. Race Point Lighthouse is just over the dunes in the other direction, but it's not happening today. So I'm pretty happy with what we've got. And it was a heck of a journey. So my legs are definitely feeling it, and it's gonna be an interesting ride home. But yeah, so got to my destination, I'm happy, and that is all. So I'm gonna sign off for now, and just wanna say a quick thanks to Cape Shark for letting me wear their awesome apparel during this trip. I love it, and it kept me comfortable and warm the whole time. And yeah, go visit them and take a look at their shop in Chatham. And I will talk to you guys pretty soon. Thanks.